I would have our writers and craftsmen of many kinds master our history and legends, and fix upon their memory the appearance of mountains and rivers, and make it all visible again in their arts. The Greeks, the only perfect artists of the world, looked within their own borders, and we, like them, have legends which surpass, as I think, all legends but theirs in wild beauty. And in our land, as in theirs, there is no river or mountain that is not associated in the memory with some event or legend. These were the words of a young Irish writer who became the most famous poet of his country, William Butler Yeats, born a century ago. All around the west of Ireland there are places associated with the name of W.B. Yeats. There is Lissadell in County Sligo, where his youthful nationalism fired a young girl who later became a leader in the final struggle for Irish independence. There's the Norman Tower at Ballylee in Galway, where he lived for a time, and which became for him a powerful symbol of solitude, austerity, and the questioning of his middle age. And there is Coole Park, where Yeats and Lady Gregory developed the idea of a national theatre, the Abbey, and where many of the great literary figures of the day came. Think where man's glory most begins and ends, and say, my glory was, I had such friends. George Bernard Shaw, John Millington Synge, Augusta Gregory and her son, A.E., the poet's brother, Jack Yeats, the painter, Sean O'Casey, and W.B. Yeats. But a place where event and legend, river and mountain together breed a whole poetic landscape is the county of Sligo, where Yeats spent much of his youth. Verse, he wrote, should hold as in a mirror the colour of one's own climate and scenery, and make every lake and mountain a man can see from his own door an excitement in his imagination. Two such mountains guard Sligo. One is Ben Bulben, looming like a threat over Sligo town. There the long odyssey of the hunted lovers Diarmuid and Gráinne drew to its ill-fated end, the battle between a doomed hero and an invincible beast. On the other, that great warrior Cuchulainn slew his unknown son and, raving, fought the great sea around its shore. His arch-enemy, the tempestuous Queen Maeve, is said to lie in the ancient burial mound on its summit. This was Yeats' favourite mountain, Knocknarea. At the foot of Knocknarea, people before history built their tombs, old stones which call to mind legends from distant centuries. Yeats himself gathered stories from the country people and used them in his books. He added verses and stories of his own to the existing pattern of legend, linking them with the landmarks of Sligo, with Lugnagall, the steep place of the strangers, with Glencar and its waterfall of the stolen child, with Castle Dargan, fit setting for that bleak tragedy Purgatory, with Loch Gill and the island of his best-known poem, The Lake Isle of Innisfree. From this countryside, Yeats drew themes which echo through much of his work. The romantic images of dew and mist and lapping water. The pagan symbols of thorn and stone swept by bitter winds. The epic figures, Cuchulainn, who became for Yeats a symbol of Ireland's struggle, and passionate Maeve, stony, still. These things are of the fabric of Sligo. It was W.B. Yeats who fashioned them into great poetry. Had I the heavens embroidered cloths enwrought with gold and silver light, the dim and the blue and the dark cloths of night and light and the half-light, I would spread the cloths under your feet. But I, being poor, have only my dreams. I have spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly, because you tread on my dreams. Outworn heart in a time outworn, come clear of the nets of wrong and right. Laugh, heart, again in the grey twilight. Sigh, heart, again in the dew of the morn. Come, heart, where hill is heaped upon hill, for there the mystical brotherhood of sun and moon and hollow and wood and river and stream work out their will. And God stands winding his lonely horn, and time and the world are ever in flight. And love is less kind than the grey twilight, and hope is less dear than the dew of the morn. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. There midnight's all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evening full of linnet's wings. I will arise and go now, for always night and day I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey, I hear it in the deep heart's core. There is a waterfall upon Ben Bulben side that all my childhood counted dear. Were I to travel far and wide, I could not find a thing so dear. Where the wandering water gushes from the hills above Glencar, in pools among the rushes that scarce could bathe a star, we seek for slumbering trout, and whispering in their ears, give them unquiet dreams, leaning softly out from ferns that drop their tears over the young streams. Come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild, with a fairy hand in hand, for the world's more full of weeping than you can understand. Suddenly I saw the cold and rook-delighting heaven that seemed as though ice burned and was but the more ice. And thereupon imagination and heart were driven so wild that every casual thought of that and this vanished and left but memories that should be out of season with the hot blood of youth, of love crossed long ago. And I took all the blame out of all sense and reason until I cried and trembled and rocked to and fro, riddled with light. Ah, when the ghost begins to quicken, confusion of the deathbed over, is it sent out naked on the roads, as the books say, and stricken by the injustice of the skies for punishment? The wind has bundled up the clouds high over Knocknarea and thrown the thunder on the stones for all that Maeve can say. Angers that are like noisy clouds have set our hearts a-beat, but we have all bent low and kissed the quiet feet of Kathleen, the daughter of Houlihan. The old brown thorn trees break in two high over Cummin Strand under a bitter black wind that blows from the left hand. Our courage breaks like an old tree in a black wind and dies, but we have hidden in our hearts the flame out of the eyes of Kathleen, the daughter of Houlihan. wandering birds and rushy beds, you put such folly in our heads with all this crying in the wind. No common love is to our mind, and our poor Kate or Nan is less than any whose unhappiness awoke the harpstrings long ago. Yet they that know all things but know that all this life can give us is a child's laughter, a woman's kiss. Who was it put so great a scorn in the grey reeds that night and morn are trodden and broken by the herds, and in the light bodies of birds the north wind tumbles to and fro, and pinches among hail and snow? Let rush and bird cry out their fill of the harper's daughter if they will. Beloved, I am not afraid of her. She is not wiser nor lovelier, and you are more high of heart than she, for all her wanderings over sea. But I'd have bird and rush forget those other two, for never yet has lover lived, but longed to wive like them that are no more alive. All would be well could we but give us wholly to the dreams, and get into their world that to the sense is shadow, and not linger wretchedly among substantial things. For it is dreams that lift us to the flowing, changing world that the heart longs for. What is love itself, even though it be the lightest of light love, but dreams that hurry from beyond the world? There are some that weigh and measure all in these waste seas, they that have all the wisdom that's in life, and all that prophesying images made of dim gold rave out in secret tombs. They have it that the plans of kings and queens are dust on the moth's wing, that nothing matters but laughter and tears, laughter, laughter and tears, that every man should carry his own soul upon his shoulders. Cuchulainn stared on the horses of the sea, and heard the cars of battle, and his own name cried, and fought with the invulnerable tide. The dews drop slowly and dreams gather. Unknown spears suddenly hurtle before my dream-awakened eyes, and then the clash of fallen horsemen and the cries of unknown perishing armies beat about my ears. We who still labour by the crumlach on the shore, the grey cairn on the hill, when day sinks drowned in dew, being weary of the world's empires, bow to you, master of the still stars and of the flaming door. These things will, it may be, haunt me on my deathbed. What matter if the people prefer another art? I have had my fill. Under bare Ben Bulben's head in Drumcliff churchyard Yeats is laid. An ancestor was rector there long years ago. A church stands near, by the road an ancient cross. No marble, no conventional phrase. On limestone quarried near the spot, by his command, these words are cut. Cast a cold eye on life, on death, horseman, pass by.